Hi Capricorns and Capricorn lovers. This reading is for mid-December 2018. So I know I am a few days past that midpoint now, but we are looking at the last half of December nonetheless. And we are doing your reading a little bit differently than I did the first three. I just keep switching it up this month, trying to decide what I want to take into 2019 with me. Judgment, representing you currently, Capricorns. Your karma is being cleared currently. You're finding that it is clear. You're finding that you're absolved of some past sins, so to speak, some past mistakes. And then the Ace of Wands in reverse. So first of all, here's the High Priestess showing for us again. That's the energy that you're moving out of. That makes sense to me. That was on the bottom of the deck as we got started. That's the energy you're moving away from. So perhaps moving away from a Taurus energy, specifically Capricorns. Maybe for a lot of you, finally feeling forgiven, finally feeling absolved, finally feeling like you have a fresh start after some past mistake regarding a Taurus. For others, or at the same time, a lot of you feel like it's your own intuition that has led you to this space of being forgiven and absolved. But across the board, you're done hiding, Capricorns. You've been keeping things close to the chest. You've been guarding secrets having to do with the situation that's pictured here on the table for us. And those secrets are revealed now. You know, the High Priestess is, you know, she is the keeper of secrets, and so often represents that very thing, keeping secrets, keeping things close to the chest, as I said. But she's very wise. She's very intuitive. She's very psychic, this character here. So this is either, you know, these are either qualities about yourself that you've just recently come to own, or the qualities of a person that you're leaving in the past that you've just recently, or at some point in your past, spent some significant time with, and you're moving away from that space. Either or. And with the Judgment card, this is, as I said, things being forgiven, being absolved, karma being cleared, but that includes being joyfully naked in front of others, cleaned, fresh, and self-aware, meaning, you know, not only do you feel that you deserve forgiveness for these past mistakes, and not only is your karma actually cleared, but you're okay with being exposed in front of other people who would judge you for those things. You're just elated to have a new lease on life, to have the opportunity to live without the weight of those mistakes on you anymore. So anyone else looking on you now judging those mistakes for themselves, that's fine. That's neither here nor there to you. They can make their judgments, right? Again, your own intuition may have led you to this point, knowing that you're on the right path and having earned your own forgiveness and feeling that you've earned the forgiveness of the divine, feeling that something greater than all of us as individuals, spirit, source, God, your angels, guides, whatever anchors you, feeling that which is beyond the veil, which the high priestess can see and communicate with, and that's a gateway that she stands in. She just sort of hangs out in that doorway. That's where she's comfortable, right? The veil has been lifted to some extent in the recent past, and having been able to see or hear or feel or connect with this power greater than all of us as individuals, really, a power that we sort of make up and are connected by as a whole, and feeling forgiven and absolved by that energy allows you to feel like any individual judging me now, can write about it in their diary. I don't care. You don't care anymore how other people see you in this situation, you in this person. Like I said, for some of you, it may be a Taurus, it could also be a Pisces, but those signs don't necessarily have to resonate. And interesting that I do also associate the Judgment card with Sagittarius, the sign of Sagittarius. And so maybe Sagittarius season, it's this reading is being done for you right at the end of Sagittarius season, so astrologically speaking, of course, the sun is about to move into your sign, Capricorn. Happy birthday to those of you who are Capricorn sun signs. But also we've got the full moon in Cancer. So that would be opposite whatever you have in Capricorn, whatever your concentrated Capricorn energy is, the moon here on the 22nd will be opposite that in Cancer. And then we've got Mars moving into Aries on the 31st. And I'm not so keen on January's astrology yet. But it is very interesting to me that it shows up as the Judgment card, which could also represent Sagittarius season itself. And here I'm recording this for you on the 20th. So it's sort of, maybe that'll flesh out a little bit more for me as we continue, but it's sort of like, just as the season is closing, these things are happening. You're coming, as your season is approaching, Capricorn, you're coming to terms with some mistake that, I feel that you felt judged harshly for before, maybe by others, but certainly by yourself. And as I said, seeing beyond the veil, connecting with something greater than yourself has given you this freedom, this release. You're happy to be seen. You're happy to be known as what you truly are, to have your mistakes blasted on loudspeaker for everyone. That's fine. You forgive yourself, the divine forgives you, and when your karma is cleared, you know it. You can feel it. You know when you have a clean slate. You know when you have paid for your mistakes, so to speak. I mean, that's not exactly the way that it works, no, but that is how it translates to us, and having our human experience. That's certainly how it feels. And you feel that weight has been lifted, those shackles have been broken, and it's like a new life. In a lot of decks, you can really tell that in the Judgment card that these people are being raised from the dead. And in line with me talking about what's going on for you astrologically, I see that, oh wow. Okay. you may be ending the month and moving into January. You very well may be starting to take a look at the cosmos, starting to take a look at your own birth chart, your own astrology, your own personal astrology. I see a lot of you studying yourself in that way. Certainly acknowledging this gift from we'll say spirit, again, from whatever anchors you, from whatever the divine is to you beyond the veil. Acknowledging as the month closes and or moving into January, acknowledging that karma being cleared, that weight being lifted, those shackles being broken, this new freedom, this new life that you feel is a gift from them. At the same time, what you're crossed with, what you're met with, what you're facing currently is represented by the Ace of Wands in reverse. And then progressing through the end of December, you also have the Five of Wands then. So there's this energy of not quite being ready for something. And with the Star card showing up, I feel like as Mars moves into Aries, or as you start to feel that energy right around that time, it'll be a belief in yourself. Gratitude for the gift from Spirit, yes, but also finding a faith in yourself and your own abilities that writes this Ace of Wands. If what it's representing for you is that you're just not ready, that your energy is a little misdirected. Mars is still in Pisces, or that something is or was short-lived. So for those of you who are specifically dealing with say a Taurus energy, for those of you that are specifically dealing with someone that the High Priestess represents, someone who was keeping secrets from you perhaps, or someone that you were keeping secrets from, that may have been a short-lived affair. Not that it necessarily was an affair per se, but it could have been, since that's the word that fell out of my mouth, right? But yeah, you may be stuck. I don't want to say you're stuck, but you may be still trying to get over that situation, even though you forgive yourself and the divine forgives you and you feel that your karma is cleared. There may be a part of you that is hovering over what happened only because it was so short-lived, or you expected it to be longer. Yeah, for some of you. And that's why there's still some ego drama here coming up as we close the month, as we move through the end of December. That's why there could still be some arguments, some fights, just a lack of peace in general. Things aren't easy, whether that's, surrounding you, within you, or, or specifically between you and other people. Let me just glance at my notes really quickly. I've been just really revisiting my relationship with so many of the cards today, and I want to take a glance at what I noted earlier about the Ace of Wands in reverse. I do have stuck here. Well, I don't get the feeling that you're shutting people and love and opportunities out in general, but there may be one specific person that you're deciding to shut out. At the same time that a lot of you feel your karma is cleared and that you're forgiven and you forgive yourself, you may simultaneously be judging a situation you were just a part of, be judging a person. And not in an unhealthy way. I mean, we are human and we have to make judgment calls about who can be a part of our life, who can be a part of our future, who brings us good, positive energy and negative energy. So a lot of you are shutting out a specific someone. In particular, turning down an advance of affection, a sexual advance, probably, with it being the Ace of Wands in reverse specifically, if that's the case. Okay, let's look at, yeah, so, you know, someone may have betrayed you in some sense. It may have been an out-and-out lie or dishonesty on some level. And or you just feel like, you know, you need to remove yourself from this person, this situation, in order to clearly assess whether or not that's what happened. Part of you, it's crazy that we do this to ourselves, Capricorns. Part of you is not ready to be finished with this situation. And, you know, for a lot of you, the what has led you to this point, embracing the fact that you can see beyond the veil, embracing the fact that your karma is cleared now, has been a painful cycle to get. It's been painful to get to this point, right? And I can't help but see it as explain it, at least, and see it as a specific relationship with one specific other person. And for a lot of you, that's the case. That's what we're talking about. I'm not categorizing this as distinctly a romantic love reading or anything else. I just wanted to let come through whatever wanted to. But a lot of you have had a painful cycle with this individual or this situation, and it is a divine gift to be able to connect with, again, that force, whatever you label it as, beyond us, that's greater than us, that has encouraged this forgiveness of self and this notion that you are forgiven by that which is greater than you. As is the ability to judge this other individual or these other people or these other energies in your life that may need to be given up and removed. All of it, such a divine gift, and yet a lot of you are looking at it in the face of it and in the face of that divinity and still saying, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to let this fight go. I'm not ready to let this drama, these egoic desires go. I'm not ready to let someone new in, and I don't mean to push that. I don't mean to encourage that. That's for each individual to decide when they're ready. You don't have to let someone new in. But with the Ten of Swords in reverse, I definitely see a negative, painful cycle possibly repeating. This is your weakness. This is your obstacle or weakness in the spread. Something's being unfinished to you, not having closure, perhaps. But yeah, the tendency to repeat cycles. For some of you, it's this you feel someone else has intentionally wounded you, and it may make you want to retaliate, which, in fact, I mean, certainly with this coming up in your future, right? These characters, these energies may just be playing at first, right? But someone could actually end up getting hurt here. And for some of you, you may feel that someone else has intentionally wounded you, and it leaves you with the desire to, as I said, retaliate. And, you know, that will drag this cycle on. That will cause this to repeat and repeat. Whereas currently, that's really the message here. Your karma is clear right now. Are you sure you want to create negative karma? Are you sure you don't want to allow this to come to a close? I know that feeling where it's just like, it's just sort of like this itch, or this someone tapping on your shoulder, this nagging feeling that there has to be a repercussion for this person. I want to pass judgment on this person and see that person get their karma. I want to see that person get what they deserve. Or if not, then there's a conversation to be had. They need to apologize again. There's this feeling that it can't be over like that. It can't be done like that. There has to be a little bit more. I have to say one more thing. I have to let them know what they did. I have to, and we can cause our own pain. We can cause our own negative karma in that way. And I think that's why I think the main message is, right now your karma is clear. Right now all is forgiven. Right now you can move forward with a clean slate. And there's the need to acknowledge what a gift that is. And even if you don't want to express gratitude to something greater than yourself for giving you that gift, think about it in terms of how you've given yourself that gift. Again, how painful it's been to get to this point. And maybe how many times you and these other energies or this other person had to repeat the painful cycles that you've gone through. Hasn't it been on some level really annoying is what I'm feeling. Like, if you really comb over how many times you all have been through this type of fight, either with this one person or in your past pattern of relationships, perhaps, how many times you've gone through the same thing, doesn't it annoy you yourself to think about, like, am I gonna ever start a new pattern? Am I gonna ever choose a new type of person, or get out of this painful revolving door, right? And I definitely see confirmation about all of that with the Seven of Swords showing up as your strength, what's supporting you. Is the knowledge of the betrayal itself, for some of you, if that's what you're dealing with. If it's someone that you feel has stolen from you, stolen truth, stolen time, again, lied outright, really committed some sort of a crime, probably, you know, mental or emotional manipulation in some way. It's the fact that you've been able to identify that person, and that you've been able to see clearly what their intentions were, what they've done. That frees you. That gives you this gift, right? You know, that's the form that the gift from the divine came in. And perhaps for some of you, that's why your karma is clear, right? Anything that you may have done, any wrong that you may have felt guilty about, is sort of it's made clear to you. It's perfectly explained to you now why your intuition led you to do what you did, say what you said, because some part of you already knew what they were stealing from you, and what way they had betrayed you, right? Even if it wasn't conscious, you weren't conscious of it, on a subconscious level, you could feel some part of you knew, right? And that can be who we're really angry at. Once we realize, oh, my intuition told me they were lying, my intuition told me they betrayed me, often that's who we're really mad at, when we feel like, I want to see them get their karma. I want to see, you know, things can't go right for them. That's not fair from here on. It's ourselves that we're angry with, because we didn't listen to that voice that we're trying to strengthen. And you want to go easy on yourself more than anything. That's the reason to give them your forgiveness. And it's the reason to, you know, not be harsh on yourself for not listening to that intuition. You don't, that's another negative cycle you don't want to repeat, right? That's all that can be gleaned from this. That's what can really be taken away from this, is learning from the mistake, listening to your intuition about this person next time, or the next person next time, right? Again, starting a different type of pattern for yourself. But also, the Seven of Swords as your support is also, you know, you being able to sneak off with your own time and energy, to steal your own time and energy now, perhaps for healing after this situation, perhaps for, you know, making the decision not to repeat this cycle. You know, this isn't a prediction. This is your weakness. And like I said, I just think that there's a part of you that isn't finished with this negative cycle. There's a part of you that wants to continue on. And for most of you, it's not in terms of wanting the relationship to continue. It's wanting, again, to see this person get their karma. But yours is cleared right now. Yours is cleared right now. And sometimes we can feel like, you know what, maybe I am their karma. But the Seven of Swords as your support is saying, you know, the worst thing that you can do to them, as always, the best revenge is a life well lived. The worst thing that you can do toward them now, if you're wanting to pay them back in some way, is to take yourself from the situation, rise above it, become someone who doesn't have time for it, focus on other things. And for some of you, it specifically is taking yourself away from them, not allowing them to have you anymore. And whether it's immediate or in time, that will be, you know, punishment enough. We're going to get a clarifier on your advice card here. Your advice card is the Eight of Swords upright, which is limited beliefs, self-imposed prisons. And so my first reaction to that is thinking it's in the way of just acknowledging that you could be holding yourself back in the ways that we've described. Because, as I said, you know, wanting to repeat this negative cycle, wanting to stay because you feel that you don't have the closure, you feel that you don't have the satisfaction that you deserve of seeing this person get what they deserve, right? That is continuing on the relationship. So for most of you, you're not ready to move on. There's still fight left in you. You're going to cause not going to, again, that's not a prediction, but you have a weakness that is showing up because it could cause you to repeat a negative cycle, but it's not because you actually want to stay with them, stay in the relationship. And what you're not seeing is that wanting to continue to interact with them, even in a negative way, even to make sure that they get what they want, that is, or to make sure that they get what you want to see them get, that is continuing the relationship, right? It may not be the same type of relationship, but you are then continuing on with this person. Whereas, again, probably the best thing you could do, the best revenge you could serve them, is to just steal away with your time, steal away with your energy, refuse to give them any more of you. that's still you giving of yourself to them. That's still you giving of your energy to them. And you could just refuse it. Refuse to give it to them. And honestly, for some of you Capricorns, ask yourself deep down on a deeper layer, past the revenge, past the anger, past the hurt, the betrayal, is there a little part of you that because you still care for them, because you're not the individual who lied, who betrayed, who would do that to them, that wants to give something of yourself to them still? Because that is what you're doing. Even if you think you're sticking around to see them get theirs, so to speak, if you will, it's still a gift in a way that you're giving them. You're dedicating your time and energy to them. So for some of you, on some deeper level, subconsciously, is that not what you're doing? Are you trying to still give them something that consciously you're acknowledging they definitely don't deserve? In fact, you want to see them punished in some way for what they did to you. But some other part of you is wanting to give of yourself to them still. And that could very well be the Eight of Swords here showing up as as advice, is just acknowledging the ways that you are holding yourself back concerning the situation. How are you? How or why are you refusing to see that, as I keep saying, the best move to make now is just to move on, is just to steal away and to refuse to give any more of yourself to them? And I think, I'm not exactly sure, I'm not sure why the King of Crystals is the clarifier here on the Eight of Swords. I'm not sure why these two cards are coming through this way, but courage is noted here. What I mean is, I'm not sure why I'm interpreting them the way that I'm about to explain, but I think this is a lot about you having the courage to take that blindfold off, you having the courage to see that it's only yourself holding you back, because it will then be only you. There's something about removing yourself from this situation, these people, this person, this energy that leaves you alone. There's something about, unbinding yourself and taking the blindfold off and acknowledging that you're the one who's placed these swords around you that leaves you feeling alone. And, and as we come up on your season, and as we're in this holiday season and nearing the end of the year, that can be particularly difficult for anybody in this type of situation, anyone moving out of relationships or relationships of any type, I guess. I mean, whether it's work or friends or romantically related. But getting into your body can certainly help. The King of Crystals, or the King of Coins, Pentacles here, could also just be a separate piece of advice that's showing up. What you can do in that space then is commit to self and get into your body, get into nature as much as you can. But if you can't because of weather or something like that, dance, sing. I keep saying that to everybody. That's just a message that just keeps coming through this month. Move, make everything in your body vibrate, feel, be in your body. And then moving forward, by the end of the month and moving through January, we have 3 more major arcanas for you: the Star card, Strength, and the Emperor. So, for those of you who are moving away from this, who's relate to the situation in the way of moving away from a divine masculine energy, I certainly see the potential of a divine masculine energy in January, or this could even be February, March, the beginning of 2019 by the time we get to this third card. But it follows having this gratitude for the gift you've been given from beyond the veil, this belief in yourself, Not just knowing and learning and owning, but also putting into practice the secret of renovation, reinventing yourself, really embracing the new life that you're being given, and which, you know, would follow naturally after showing gratitude for what a gift it is. It's really hard to reach this place, this belief in yourself, and this new life that the Judgment card represents as well. And so showing gratitude for the fact that you've made it there and you've been aided on your way there can certainly encourage the energy of reinventing yourself, of being this next version of yourself. Now, as far as the divine masculine message, for those of you who are moving away from one, and that could be a boss or a father figure. It doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner still, but in particular, those who are, it definitely could be a boss. So if you're moving out of a partnership with a divine masculine in any way, whether it's a boss or a good friend, a family member, a father figure, or a partner, a romantic partner, I see the potential for a new and different one, and possibly an earth sign in the future, in the beginning of the year. Now, a lot of you, I can sense, are thinking that's not what I want. That may be specifically for those of you who are looking at this as a work situation, because you may need a new boss, right? And with the King of Crystals as advice, someone courageous, someone who's not afraid to get their hands dirty, someone who makes the same commitment to you that you do to them. If it's in terms of your family, someone who could be thought of as a family man, who shows commitment to those in their household and in their community. When I see the King of Crystals, and I do see this offer of love, this expression of love, authentic and genuine from someone's heart, right underneath of the King of, or the Emperor here, rather. But to get there, and it will just be a divine partner of some type for some of you. It's not divine masculine for all of you. Well, it's not a divine masculine outside of yourself for all of you. For others, it's, embracing the divine masculine within you, becoming your own boss, becoming the authority in your own life, taking responsibility for your own choices and actions. But getting to that point, whether it's meeting someone that has this divine masculine energy or owning it yourself, it requires strength. That path has belief in yourself and strength on it, which again can be getting into your body, like the King of Crystals describes. This is self-discipline, unconditional love for your mind, body, spirit, including your emotional body. And a lot of times in this community, I do think that something we forget is the unconditional love for the physical body, especially at this time of year too. That's required as well. You can nourish your mind and your spirit and your emotional body in every way, but you still have to move. And it can really, really help you overcome situations like this. Help to distract you, for one, but also it help to take out some of that frustration. If you are in that place of wanting to see someone else get their karma, it can really take out a lot of that frustration. You can channel this energy that would go into the Five of Wands, this petty ego drama, any fights that you think are helping you in some way. You can channel that energy into some sort of physical exertion that could just magically release that energy without having to direct it at somebody, right? But we will leave it at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcanas on the board. We will leave it at that, Capricorns. This is much longer than I intended it to be, but that's okay, because happy birthday again to Capricorn sun signs. In January, I will do 2 readings for you. Probably if someone has a suggestion or something they'd like to see specifically as a reading, then by all means let me know. But my thoughts are probably a more general spread and then a love reading, but as a birthday present for Capricorns. But I hope that for now that this offered you some insight, that it gave you something that you didn't have when you came to the reading, that you make very wise choices moving forward, certainly keeping in mind that right now your karma is clear. And if you choose, all you have to do is walk away from the situation with all the gifts that you've been given. And I thank you also for being here, for subscribing and liking. If you haven't, welcome Lunarticks. And if you would like a private reading, just scroll down to the description below or email me at lunartickstarot@gmail.com. And I love you very much, Capricorns, and I'll post another tarot fix for you as soon as I can.